Morning folks, how are you doing? Welcome back, Football Digest Daily. My name is Nyash. I hope you guys are doing good, staying safe at home, sanitizing, washing your hands regularly and all that shit because of, coronavirus. So I just want to give you an update on what's happening in the world of sports and also football. In the last couple of days, we've had some quite interesting news. But you know what they say, no news is good news. So most of these are bad news, yeah? So let's get right into it. So like this weekend, we had the reports that Kyle Walker had broken down or had broken the lockdown rules in the UK because UK were under lockdown because they have been hit badly by the coronavirus. And so Kyle Walker was reported by The Sun that he was having a sex party in his house. Yeah, the same guy who was urging guys to stay in the house, social distance and all that shit. It has been reported now he was having a sex party in his house at Manchester. Wow, what a way of handling the whole lockdown shit and being a freaking role model, right? And it sucks for these guys because they are role models to people and they know that. Of course, that's what you get when you play football in the biggest of stages. But, when you're a role model, some things you're just not privileged to. And even in the lockdown, the whole lockdown shenanigan just limits you to some of the liberties that you would normally enjoy. And so when guys like Kyle Walker get reported doing something like that, of course, that is terrible. It's terrible for them. It's terrible for their club also. So Manchester City has said that it's going to be looking into that and they're going to be punishing him internally. We're going to wait and see what exactly is going to happen there with regards to his punishment. Of course, he's going to be punished. Yeah. Say like Jack Grealish was also reported last week of doing the same, or is it the previous week, that he was also breaking down, breaching lockdown rules and having parties and walking around in town. And driving around and even getting caught up in an accident. That is just terrible for him as a role model and as a professional footballer. And he was fined 150,000 by Aston Villa pounds. So we're going to be waiting to see what punishment is going to be handed to one Kyle Walker. Okay. And of course, another Manchester City player who has been making headlines the last couple of days is KDB. Of course, he was talking of how he thinks that if the league postponement is going to interfere with next season, then maybe it should be scrapped off. And of course, he was saying it's unfortunate that they might have to scrap off, but he was in the light that if at all we're going to impact negatively on next season, then we should have this whole thing scrapped off. And that's just his opinion, all right? And we're going to be waiting, of course, to see what's going to be happening. Of course, this came in the wake of the EPL being suspended. And of course, indefinitely without any conclusive date of return, and that is something that I'm gonna be talking about today. All right, like I actually forgot to say this. Today from 8 to 9 p.m. we're gonna be having a live broadcast on Instagram, talking to one Coach Ndovwode from the UK as he gives us his sentiments on how he's handling the whole coronavirus shit. His opinions on what should be done with regard to the football arena fraternity that is going on with regards to the wage cuts, the whole indefinite suspension of the Premier League, and even the UEFA is going to be giving us his sentiments today from 8 to 9 p.m. Alright, so be on the lookout for that, and I'm looking forward to seeing you then. So there has been the issue of players taking wage cuts that has been talked about widely by the Ministry of Health in the UK, and of course some former players have not been amused by how the whole shenanigan is being approached or how the whole issue is being approached. And of course, a guy like Wayne Rooney is of the opinion that he can afford to take a wage cut, right? And he can afford to give something, but it just hits the way the whole issue is being handled, right? And he was talking of why is it that the Minister of Health came out directly talking about EPL players taking wage cuts? Was it something that he had predetermined or pre-thought of? Is he trying to divert the attention away from the way the government is handling the whole pandemic, or what exactly is going on? Gary Neville was incensed by the whole idea of the UK ministry coming out just talking about EPL players taking wage cuts and kind of directly leaving them up to take the blame. And if they don't agree, then it start looking like, you're not helping the whole coronavirus shit, which is totally untrue. All right, so there's been the whole issue of wage cuts, and that is being talked about, and you're going to be seeing what is going to be happening in the next coming days. Of course, in the meeting that was held, the crisis meeting of clubs that was held, of course, they were deliberating on that. So we're going to be waiting to see what is going to be happening. Teams like Manchester United and Brighton had already agreed to take a 30% cut on their wages for the month. For 1 month only though, but so we're going to be waiting to see, are they going to extend that to 2 months or 3 months down the line, or are they just going to stick to the 1 month? So you're going to be waiting to see what is going to happen there. there's also the whole issue of following of casual staff. Now, this one is a whole conundrum here because there are players in the club's payroll, casual staff on the club's payroll, and there are casual staff that are not on the club's payroll, especially on services like hospitality. There are guys on the club's payroll who are casual laborers, right? And there are also casual staff who are not on the club's payroll. Like the hospitality services, of course, they outsource that from other companies, right? And those companies now, they are not doing any work because there's no football going on. And so some of these staff have not been paid. Like in Arsenal, the companies that Arsenal and West Ham and likes of Fulham have subcontracted to provide hospitality services has not been paying their staff, which is bringing a whole different dimension of Arsenal and these big clubs. Why the hell is that happening? Why do you subcontract services from companies that cannot cater for their staff in such difficult periods? Because these are new times. No one has been in this situation before. So we need to, they need to find a way that they're going to compensate the staff. Because these staff don't have anywhere else to go. If they don't work for these companies, they don't get any wages. And their wages are more of like, would I say weekly wages or daily wages or hourly wages? So it's very difficult for them. It's very difficult for them. We've also seen that some casual staff who are on the club's payroll, they're being followed to the job retention scheme, or being pushed to the job retention scheme of the government, where the government pays for 80% of your wages, and your employee, the employee who has employed you, or your employer pays you 20% of your wages. And now, of course, guys are like, why is it happening to big clubs like likes of Liverpool, likes of Tottenham have put their casual staff on the job retention scheme? Guys like Norwich, why is it happening for these big clubs, especially Liverpool and Tottenham? These are big clubs. Why are they putting their casual staff on the job retention scheme? You know, the government job retention scheme. Some players like Carragher were crazily annoyed by that. They were thinking that's not the best way to go about it. Apparently, this is meant for the smaller companies. I don't know how true this is. This is something that Coach Ndovu is going to be telling us when we discuss with him later in the evening on the approach to take with regards to the whole wage cut and the following of staff. So you're going to be talking to him deeply and further with regards to that. And of course, it's not like the footballing fraternity is not helping. There are some guys who are seriously helping. We've seen in Spain, there was a La Liga festival that was held, of course, the stay-at-home campaign, where they raised, alongside Rafael Nadal, they raised 600,000 euros to aid in curbing the coronavirus pandemic, especially in Spain, which has been hit hard. We've also seen guys like Pep Guardiola. They have donated 1 million euros to buy medical supplies in Barcelona. We've seen guys like Ike Gundogan. They have assisted in setting up a shopping service in Heinsberg County in Germany, where there's some nursing staff, and that area has been hit hard by the coronavirus. We've seen guys like Mbappe donating to Abbé Pierre Foundation, which aids in housing the poor in France, or those guys without proper housing in France. We've seen guys like De Gea contributing 300,000 euros to help in Madrid to curb the virus. So guys definitely are helping. So you can't say the footballing fraternity imekaa tu ikingoja waiting to see what exactly is going to happen. That is not true. All right, these guys are helping. So they should not be made to look like they are not willing to help. In Germany, we've seen the big four clubs, the Bayern Munich, Borussia, Leipzig, and Bayer Leverkusen. They have said they're going to be helping these other smaller clubs to be able to go through the turmoil, of course, in these difficult periods, and just to prevent job losses, because the biggest thing that's going to happen here is job losses. So they have said they're going to help with that. So it's interesting. We've also seen guys like Gareth Bale. He had this Combat Corona FIFA tournament where guys like Loftus-Cheek and Daniel James took part in just to raise funds for charities. And that's a very noble cause. We've seen also, let me see, what else? We've seen guys like Eddie Howe have taken a pay cut. Guys like Gareth Southgate has taken a pay cut. And so has Graham Potter and all the executive directors in Brighton. Brighton has been at the forefront in aiding its casual staff and especially preventing job losses. We have also seen in Kenya, with regards to suspension, we have seen the Kenya Premier League has been suspended indefinitely following, of course, the coronavirus pandemic in Kenya. FKF has said they're going to be giving a guideline on when they're going to be coming back, but it has been suspended indefinitely. Right now, Gor Mahia was leading the pack with 54 points from 23 games. So we're going to be waiting to see what exactly is going to happen with regards to the Kenya Premier League. So much is happening in the world of football, and we're going to be keeping you updated in the coming days just to keep you in the know and, of course, keep you informed. That's it for now. Have a fantastic day. God bless.